Hello guys, and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time visiting, please be sure to check out my other videos to see if any of those are going to be able to help you out. Before I get started here, I'll say that I've been checking the statistics that YouTube provides and come across that only 10% of the people that watch my videos are even subscribed. It costs you nothing. Click it if you'd like to come back and be notified when I have new information that goes up. It helps me out in the algorithm, and YouTube will promote the videos a little bit more, so that would be appreciated. This is basically 1 year after the rebuild on this car was finished, and I'm going to show you how things are going with it now. I've only put around 1,000 miles on the car since the rebuild. I was going through a move and a kind of a big life event that happened to me at that time last October. And I had my other car, this Civic, that I just depended on that, and I put this car up. It wasn't registered, had insurance on it, just drove it, here or there, just when the mood struck me to run down to the store or something. Just recently got the registration on it good, and have really been driving the car as a daily now. The car is running perfect. I've had some people ask questions about it, so here you go. There's for the first 1,000 miles, I've not had any real issues that were related to the rebuild itself. Everything seems to be working really good. The engine runs smoothly, idles smoothly, accelerates smoothly. It seems like it has the power that it's supposed to have. I've been on the interstate with it. Everything's just fine. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to back up to when I pulled the car out of the garage here. I'm going to show you the cold start and let you see how it performed. All right, let's give it a cold start and let you guys check out how it sounds. You can see it fired right up, running smooth. Get it backed out here and let it warm up and go over the how well the engine's running now. All right, we've got it up to operating temperature just about now, and you can see this idling very nice, no ticking, no clanking, nothing's going wrong. Do have the only code I have right now currently on the engine is the car itself is the SRS light. I have an idea what that is, I just haven't gone after it yet. It's been on forever. I just need to get in there and read the code and make sure it is what I think it is. I may do a video of that in the near future to help somebody else out who might be having the same problem. You see also a brake lamp light that came on yesterday. Went back there, the bulb had fallen out of the socket. I have the aftermarket brake lights in the back of this car, and probably just not as good as the factory original. Okay, on the left there you see I have my scan tool plugged in, just so you can see there's no code stored in the module right now. It's got your fuel trim there, the short-term fuel trim, -7 right now, and switch down to the long-term -6. So they're pretty much in charge. They're pretty much in line with each other right now. About what I expect from a car with the exhaust system as old as the one in this one. All right, I'll back up, and I'm going to show you a couple things that actually have gone wrong with the car that really had nothing to do with the rebuild. It's just a 20-year-old car and things go bad. All right, the first thing that went haywire on this car, and I don't think it was any fault of my own. It was about 100 miles after the rebuild. I was driving in traffic. I heard kind of a whistling sound. I started smelling oil, and my oil light came on. I immediately pulled the car over, left a wide trail of oil to the parking spot I got to. I had to have the car towed. At the time, I didn't have a garage. All my tools were in storage, so I actually had to tow the thing to a shop, and they got it up on the lift and determined that the oil filter had split. Now, I always hand tighten those things. I do not crank down on them. I don't think that was anything that I had done wrong, but it was just kind of a freak thing that went wrong with the car. Again, as soon as I saw the light, I had the car idling, pulled over, and shut off within the minute of the oil light coming on. So I don't suspect there was any damage to the bearings or anything when that happened. So I got that fixed, and the car pretty much worked flawlessly after that. The next thing that happened, if you remember at the beginning of the rebuild series, I'd commented on how I had an oil leak that was coming from underneath the distributor there. and there's where the distributor fits in to the cam in the side of the head there is an O-ring that goes around it, and I just assumed that that was the problem. So I got everything back together. For a while I didn't notice an oil leak, and then after I don't know, about 300 miles, it was starting to leave a puddle under it. I got back in here, started looking, and right back on top of the transmission under the distributor there was a big puddle of oil running down the side and marking its spot. So I assumed that I made a mistake with the O-ring. When I put the new one in with these kits, when you buy them, they come with just a box of O-rings. They don't tell you where they go or anything, so you have to basically take your old ones out and match them up. And I thought, well, I probably did have the right one in there, but I found after I discovered the oil leak again, I went back through and I found another O-ring that was just a little bit thicker than the one that I had in it. So I took the distributor back out, I put that new O-ring in, cleaned everything up, got it back together, called it good. And a few days later, drip. So I'm keeping a piece of cardboard under it where it's parked so I can see if it does that. And so I got back out here and started looking again, and lo and behold, it's dripping onto this here. So the oil is actually coming out from between the distributor cap and the distributor. So there is a second seal in there. It's like a bearing seal, it's like a camshaft seal, any of those. It's the round one with the spring in it that's going to have to be replaced. So I'm going to have a video coming up on that in the near future to show you guys how, if you have that same problem with your car, what to look out for. Again, the car's been running well. The only check engine code I've gotten since I've got the thing back running is I have one knock sensor thing came up. Now I have an aftermarket knock sensor in this car. It has not come back, so it's probably just at some point I'm going to need to go buy the Honda original part, so that way I don't have that problem anymore. Again, it's just annoying. It's not hurting anything when your knock sensor light when that knock sensor code gets set. It's not telling you that the knock sensor is actually on and the car's pinging. It's telling you that the sensor is not working correctly. So the computer is not reading its information correctly. And what it does, it kind of puts the car into a limp mode, not really, but kind of changes your spark advance when the sensor is not being read, to ensure that you're not going to have any pre-ignition and damage your engine. Okay, and another problem that I had that started pretty early after I had the rebuild done is I would park it and I would notice just it would periodically, water would just pour out of underneath the car somewhere. It was a head scratcher for me. I should use a little more common sense than I did, because where the water was appearing at was on the passenger side, just behind the tire. There would be just a huge puddle back there. So I actually went to Honda. I bought the Honda original water tube O-rings and put those in. They were a lot beefier than the ones that came with my rebuild kit. And I was thinking, well, maybe I've got the problem leak there, and no, it was still leaking. Got up under it. I could not tell where the leak was coming from. It was not. It was so sporadic. You couldn't get up under it and watch it leak. You would just see where the puddle was. Well, I finally got smart. Got up underneath in the floorboard of the passenger seat, pulled the mat up there, and the carpet was wet. So what I had was the heater core was leaking, and that's in the car under the dashboard. You have the two hoses. They run, you probably can't see it in this picture, but they run just under the intake hose, or intake manifold tube there. And what I ended up doing when I realized that was the problem is the hose that comes out of the water tube goes into the heater core. I disconnected that, took the heater core, the top hose off that goes back in underneath the distributor into the head there, and I just ran it straight from the water tube to the head, and that bypasses your heater core. The leak stopped. I'm gold now. But now I have the problem where I'm going to have to replace the heater core. Let me show you what I got for that. There is my new heater core there. I got this off of eBay or something, I forgot where. They're not very expensive. Should be less than 50 bucks. The tube that goes with that, this is the one that plugs in underneath the distributor. It's just old and wore out here. It's been cut a couple times. So I found the new hose that comes from the underneath the distributor into the top of the heater core there. That's probably going to be a big deal. I hope it's not going to be, but I'm afraid it's going to be. A lot of things I've seen about it said you basically have to take the dashboard out of the car. I will do a video when I do that, and I'm going to show you exactly what went into it replacing my heater core. We're mid-October now. It's going to be time to start running the heat, and that's going to need to be addressed. Okay, here we go, cruising. We're in second gear. Not going to rev it out, but I just wanted to see how smoothly things are running. Of course, on the dash, I fixed that bulb so my brake lamp lights off. But the only problem is the SRS bag. The car is running perfectly, drives straight, smooth. 20-year-old car, everything still works. All the windows roll up and down. Heat works as soon as I get that heater core back. AC works in this car. Okay, we're going to go get it apart, and I'm going to come back and finish up this video. All right, so we're back from our little drive there, and you got to see how it was doing. Before we go, I'm also going to do a little cost breakdown on what it cost me to rebuild this engine in the manner that I did. It's not very expensive at all. As long as you know how to do it yourself and you have the tools, you'll see here in just a second. I'll have everything written down for you. Okay, with that, we will wrap up the update on the F23 rebuild 1 year later. I'm pleased with everything. I hope that some of you guys who watched the series and maybe tried this on your own, I know a few of you did, that you're having as much success with it as I did. Happy with this car. I'm even thinking I'm going to knock some of the dents out of it and get the car repainted. I've always liked the way this generation Honda Accord looked in the two-door model. It's pretty sporty, even though it's not built as a sports car, but I like these things. At any rate, appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next video.